And what is up, guys? Technicals check. And what is up, guys? Technical Tinkers here, checking in on our little 3D print operation for the day. If you're new to the channel, uninitiated or unfamiliar, I do 3D printing here at home. Stuff for around the house, stuff to improve my life, to sell on the internet, just generally have a good time. If you're interested in any of those things, if you're not, you got to be interested in having a good time, be sure to subscribe to the channel. So what have we got working on today? Well, lots of things, lots of printers moving and grooving. Let's start from the top. Not literally from the top, because those printers are quiet, but you remember the Cobra 2 Maxes. I'm gonna put some B-roll here. So that landscaping project that I was working on, I was asking in the previous vlog if people wanted to expand upon it. That episode hasn't come out yet, so I don't have the feedback to go off of, but I was able to get one side wired in. See if I can take a look out here, because the driveway's out here. You can kind of see where they were spotted in along the edge. You can't see that. I'm not going out in that sun. It's way too damn hot, dude. They are working as intended. And again, I was remarking previously, like that's one of the joys, I guess, of 3D printing. It's like just those little things, not necessarily the stuff that's, you know, ultra cool, I guess. You know, I obviously want to show that stuff here, but it's those support items. I was also thinking, because I have to drill holes into concrete to install those lights, I have to drill wider because it sort of flares to the top. And I thought perhaps I could 3D print spacers to keep them perfectly level as I sink them into the mortar. More on that as it moves along. Anyway, onto the prints. Over here on the Bamboo P1P and on the Flashforge 85M Pro and several off the A1 are DeWalt tool holders, another boring thing, but they're working out great. You can see the Flashforge performing well. This is in PET G. It's LU Rapid PET G Pro. I'm doing it in regular PLA, matte PLA, here on the P1P, because my initial tests, my heat tests, PLA seems to be working, and it's really hot in the building. Let's go look at that now. All right, and so if you recall last time, the secondary concept that I had printed, I had one of the primitives coming into the back here, so I couldn't clip it into place. Been kind of retooling everything, because like I was saying too, a lot of the DeWalt tools, the batteries fit in sort of different orientations, and I wanted to put them here on this gravity shelf. And so you can see I've got several examples already printed here. For instance, like this reciprocating saw. The battery clips in from the bottom, so it has to hang vertically, as opposed to something like this brad nailer really needs to go in sideways, because if you put it in long ways, it would stick out too far. It's better to hold the center of gravity lower as well. Now, all these are done in PLA, heavier infill, like 30%. And so these have been sitting here for maybe about 6 hours. It's not terribly hot yet, but I expect them to perform well, because the infill is very heavy. Furthermore, our lighter infill example that we did originally, that's been screwed to the wall with our heaviest tool, is still holding. Now, it is warping a little bit, but that thing's held up by basically one screw. There's 2 screws in it, but it's basically that top screw doing all the heavy lifting. But I can't mount it to the wall because it's too far to reach. As far as design goes, most of the strength is in the outer wall loops and not the infill. So what I did is I just kind of chopped the model a bit and put extra ribbing on each of these to kind of help support the weight. Not so much here, it doesn't really need it, it's pretty close. This one though is probably the most suspect, just given the sheer weight. If you've handled a Sawzall before, you know they're heavy. And so this is sticking out pretty far. It's a lot of weight carrying basically right here, pulling, shearing force, or tearing force rather. I was thinking of making some kind of spacer to kind of counteract that, but we'll see how it turns out. All the other tools, my voice is changing because I'm screaming because it's so loud in here from the fans. All the other tools holding up really well. I only need, I think, maybe 5 or 6 more, and that's what we're printing now. I mean, just that short walk from the building back to the air-conditioned inside. Woo! So what's going on here on the Orange Storm Giga? Obviously a very large print. Well, there's more to that. Let's go back inside. And for that, we're here in the kitchen. So this is a kitchen, and like most kitchens, people have silverware, utensils, things like that. And it's kind of always been a long thorn in our side, how disorganized the silverware drawer is, because we have these organizers, and this is the main, you know, silverware drawer, knife drawer, whatever. These organizers, they kind of fall apart. They're kind of crummy. I was going to get some more, and I saw on Amazon that even these cheap, like even the cheapos, added up, it would have been like 80 bucks because I have to get like a few of them. They're expandable, they move around. You know, you can never really get a satisfactory sort of product. So I thought, you know what, let's take a stab at it at least before I go and buy new ones of these on the Orange Storm Giga. Because this drawer is wide. It's like 31 wide, 19 deep. It's a big, long, wide drawer. And so I was like, okay, I can fit the whole thing on the Giga. I know I've got the dimensions for it. And so let's just put in some basic stuff. I'll put my Tinkercad screenshot here. So this just basic cutouts for, you know, forks and spoons and things like that. Also over here towards the right side, I put in just some slits to hold a few of the knives, the nicer knives, you know, the knives that are like more than $100 that, you know, they just seems like they deserve their own spot. The ones that you can't put in the dishwasher, those knives. So I got a few slits in there for those. Otherwise, the rest of it is just pretty basic. And so that's going down here on the Giga. You can see the model here, like I was saying, very simple, very wide. I'm just doing it in PETG because I had PETG loaded up. It's a long print too. It's like about 2 days, but overall it's looking pretty good. Infinity Flow S1 performing great. No issues there whatsoever, so we're gonna be anxious to get that into service. All right, back into the land of make-believe. A1 quiet currently, but we did some more time lapses with it. Show it here. So we did our Bunker Buster model. I didn't showcase that yet. I teased in a short, I made a short for it, but this is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. All right, it's not glued into place, so I don't wanna drop this thing, but this Bunker Buster model, you know, we dropped bombs recently and this is the bomb. So little model of that. I thought about doing it large in the Giga. The only issue with that is like, you know, these very, very large prints I do on the Giga, typically I'll take them to the stores to sell. Something like this, maybe a little bit contentious. So I'd kind of I was like, you know, maybe don't do that because people have opinions about things, and when you're in business, you don't want to alienate half your audience. So probably gonna just kind of cut it on that, and I'll just continue to be an edgelord myself. But you're probably asking, what's all that noise? Well, it's the FL Sun T1 Max. So that's going over here, currently making content for it because FL Sun reached out, and I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions about FL Sun and whatnot. If you're unfamiliar, FL Sun, they make these Delta printers. They use 3 arms instead of, you know, Cartesian things like, you know, most Core XYs. So they're fast, and the T1 Max is geared towards, at least they're pushing it towards like farm use, production use, things like that. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm printing my best-selling model, the Hornet Nest, and that's basically the gist of the video that I'm making, the review video I'm making for the T1 Max. That video almost certainly will come out way before this vlog episode. So consider this to be the behind the scenes of that video. Overall, the setup it's very similar to a T1 Pro. It's like a stripped down T1 Pro. It's a wider base, but it's a shorter overall build height. A lot of other, you know, a few little changes here and there. You can tell it's meant for farm use. But overall, I've got my Hornet Nest here. It takes about 7 hours to print one of those on any bamboo printer with basically stock settings, stock speeds anyway. Here on the T1 Max, it's gonna do it in about 5 hours. And so far the surface finish looks great. The interesting thing that I plan to do after this example finishes is something I've never really done with any of the review printers that I've received, is I'm gonna crank it up. And so my aim, quite literally, is going to be to jack the speed all the way through the roof. It says it'll do 1,000 millimeters per second. I know it won't, but like if we go over here to speed, it's showing most of the time it's going to be in that like 400 or 500 range, something like that, or, you know, like 236 down here. I just cranked everything all the way up as far as it'll go. You know, we'll see what happens. And because like the name of the game is speed, and like the pitch of the video is like producing products quickly because it's, you know, a farm printer, I increased the layer height to the maximum. I increased the layer width to the point where I wouldn't need 3 wall loops. I would only need 2 to achieve the same thickness. So just tuning everything up to get just the fastest possible print. Normally it takes 7 hours on a bamboo. With this max speed setting crunked to 11, I could do it in under 2 hours. At least that's what the slicer says. So whether or not that works on the printer, I'm not sure. I've got another like hour to go on this guy. And after that, I'll try it. Obviously, I'm gonna sit around and monitor it as that happens because, you know, I don't have high hopes. So that's really what's going on in 3D print land for today. I'd love to know what you're doing in the comments below. What are you printing? What do most of you guys print on a daily basis? Because I was noticing, if you saw, I put out the dog video, like the Dummy 13 video. Anytime I do a video of an exhibition print or something that isn't directly just sales related, I notice those videos tend to not do as great. And I'm thinking that perhaps early on in my channel, I was really pitching to an audience of, I'm gonna 3D print stuff to sell, and so it's from an entrepreneurial sort of lens. And so I'm wondering if the large base of my subscribers, you, are here for that kind of content moreover than exhibition prints or, you know, just generally what's going on, vlog related stuff. So I'd be interested to know what you genuinely think about that kind of thing, because obviously I need to cater to my audience, but also I don't want to lock myself in to a channel that is specifically making products to sell on the internet for money, because honestly that's, you know, that not a viable sort of course of action, you know, in my opinion. But it's something I'm still going to do because that still does interest me. I'm always looking out for that product, but it's much more varied in terms of what I hope to offer and present in terms of video production. So let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Be sure to like the video because it's the nice thing to do. And of course, subscribe for more content like this. I'm the Technicals. See you next time.